Hello everyone. Today on National Insurance Awareness Day, we are going to discuss the importance of having insurance as a financial security tool as the pandemic has taught us how unpredictable human life could be. Before introducing the guest, I request all of you to subscribe and ring the bell icon on our YouTube channel for such interesting videos on personal finance. Also follow us on LinkedIn, Twitter, Facebook and Instagram. Moving on, joining me today is Anuj Mathur, MD and CEO of Canara HSBC OBC Life Insurance Company for our show on trending at Money9. Welcome, Mr. Mathur. My first question to you is about insurance awareness. Do you think COVID has played an important role in increasing insurance awareness in the country? Has insurance penetration really gone up in country after the outbreak of pandemic?
Yeah, Tina. In fact, insurance awareness has gone up in last, if I can say so, 15 months because you asked me about impact of COVID. So yes, because of COVID, people are aware of the importance of life insurance, how important is protection. So what we have seen over last 15 months is that yes, there is increase in desire from customer side to buy life insurance.
So, sir, has this desire been both in the term insurance as well as the saving products, or is it only for one particular product? If you can tell us in detail about it.
Sure, sure. So, Tina, actually, term insurance is kind of limited to very few, kind of, if I can say, small percentage of population, and primarily people who are kind of tech savvy, who are able to go to web aggregators' website and look for online term plans. They are the ones who are buying term plans. It's not widespread. So, if you ask me across the country whether people are buying term plans, buying online term plans, we have seen some increase, but it's not to that extent. So I think the real kind of, if I can use the word pull, has been actually towards term, and that too selectively. We have not seen too much of increase in the savings business, to be honest. That's something which I think over a period of time will increase. And one thing which I would like to mention is that because of the COVID, there is uncertainty in income of people. And when I say uncertainty, I'm talking about broadly about the business owners, the SMEs, those people, their disposable income has got impacted, which has resulted in slightly kind of lower demand for the savings stroke investment plans.
Okay. We read in the reports also that mortality rate has gone up during the second wave of COVID-19, and because of which life insurers are experiencing higher claim ratio. Some of them have reported as high as 4 to 5 times of the last year in jump in the claim ratio. So, how has your experience been in this second wave of COVID-19?
Right. So first of all, on the mortality rates, I would like to mention that mortality rates are becoming more realistic now. What we saw in last 2 to 3 years, I think those were absolutely low premium rates which we saw on the protection side. So obviously they were to increase, and that increase is happening right now. And some of it is also triggered by the increase in reinsurance premiums, which we have seen across the reinsurers. So that's what I would like to mention in terms of premium rates. They are moving to the levels which are affordable and which are also justifiable. In terms of COVID claims, yes, I think all insurance companies have seen increase in COVID claims, and that's very obvious because when we have seen mortality going up, obviously that will result into higher claims. But I think it's a sort of short-term phenomena as the year progresses, because I think this wave two, which we saw from starting from April and then going on till May end, that was a brief period, I'll say, of 2 months. So I'll not like to extrapolate this experience and say that yes, mortality experience or the claims have shot up the roof. Yes, they have gone up in these 2 months. But what I expect now is that maybe these rates will come down. The deaths are also coming down over a period of time. And with more and more people getting vaccinated, I think we will see fall in the mortality rate. So I think the sudden spurt which has happened in the COVID claims, I'll not like to extrapolate and I'll not like to panic. All I would like to say is that this happened because of this wave, which saw very high mortality, and most of us were taken by surprise. But now I think things are coming in control, and even if you look at the hospitalization data, the positivity data, that has gone down. So I think that should result in claims being lower in times to come.
Mr. Mathur, you also spoke about vaccination. So many companies have started asking for COVID vaccination certificate because it decreases the risk of the insured. So as an insurer, how do you look at the need of COVID vaccination certificate going forward?
See, first of all, I think that's not true. I also read that news in the newspaper, but I think those companies clarified quickly that they are not asking for it. So I don't think so that companies are insisting for that. And I'll talk more about myself, about our company. We have not changed our underwriting practices. We are following the same underwriting policy which we are following in the pre-COVID times. So for us, there's absolutely no panic. And obviously, when we are onboarding customers, we are doing proper underwriting, and those controls are there, which have been there in the past also. So nothing has, in our case, nothing has got triggered because of the COVID.
Okay, so COVID vaccine certification, you are saying, is not going to play as important role as it was posted by some of the news reports. Because I spoke with some of the brokers also, and they gave me the idea that insurers are really serious about this COVID vaccination certificate, and some of them said that almost all of them will start asking for them in next couple of weeks. But it's good to know that COVID vaccination certificate will might not be, because people, we don't know whether people will go for vaccination or not, and vaccination is not available also on the mass scale.
Yeah.
So
In fact, I would like to add, Tina, here that at this point in time, when people need insurance, we will not put such artificial barriers. And I think government is taking many proactive steps to increase vaccination amongst people, which is required. I think if we have to control this disease in the country, that's something which is required. So the importance of vaccination is there, but we will not put such artificial restrictions for them to buy insurance.
also tell us how your claim experience has been in terms from the customer point of view. How has been the digital onboarding of the customer, especially in the claim settlement process? Is it much easier than the pre-COVID time? Is it entirely digital or not? It's only in papers, if you can tell us.
No, in fact, we have digitized our claim process, because obviously, during these times, we can't expect our customers to walk into our office to file a claim. So the digital mode is available, but at the same time, our branch is also open. So if somebody wants to walk into the branch to submit the documents, we accept that. But at the same time, we have made the process simple, by which customer can actually upload the documents digitally. They can submit, and we will process claims basis that. In fact, if you ask me, in the last 15 months, in fact, this journey started sometime last year, when we realized that probably this is the new normal. So we have digitized most of our processes, not just pertaining to claims, but for other policy servicing requests also, because for us, customer convenience is very important. And it will not be fair to assume that customers will walk into our branches, will come to our offices for servicing. So we have digitized, and we really mean it. So in fact, particularly for COVID claims, I'm personally monitoring all the claims which are coming to make sure that our PATs are reduced, turnaround time, and we are fast in terms of settling these claims. And let me also share with you that regulator is also very particular about it. Regulator is also ensuring that all these valid claims are paid in time.
Also, if you could tell us what were some of the challenges during the second wave as an insurer for you, because off the record, many companies also told us they encountered fake claims. So, what was your experience when there was sudden surge in claim? How did you tackle it? What was the challenges at that point of time?
So, Tina, actually, this problem of fake claims is not new. Even before this COVID thing, I think these claims were coming to the industry, and there is a filtering mechanism through which we identify which are the bona fide claims and which are the fraudulent claims. In the last 2 months, particularly if I have to talk about the second wave, while we have seen surge in the claims, but I'll not like to say that these claims are fraudulent. In fact, right now, the approach which we have taken is that, because in these days, even investigations are not easy. So we are trying to pay the claims, and there are several analytical tools which we are using now to identify whether these are genuine claims. And we have not seen any surge in the fraudulent claims during these 2 months. To be honest, I think the claims which have come, our claim settlement ratio is virtually the same. We are maintaining same level of kind of scrutiny, and ensuring that all bona fide claims are paid well in time. But yes, there are cartels, which we all know, which we have heard in the past also, who try to game the system. But I think now most of the insurance companies have got good controls through which we are able to identify which are these claims, and but pay all the genuine claims.
Also, you mentioned earlier about the premium rates. You said that premium rate just got revised, but after the increase in claim ratio, can we see another round of increase in premium rates?
Tina, I'll actually try to say that this is short-term phenomena, and insurance is a long-term game. It's a long-term play. So I don't think so that any insurance company will jack up the rates in percentage terms, in huge percentage, because while what we have seen as part of wave 2 is a short term experience, you cannot actually increase your premium rates assuming that this will continue. It was a sudden spurt which we saw, and the mortality rates are coming down. So I don't think so that any insurance company will hike the premium rates too much. Whatever is required because of hike in the reinsurance rates as well as to maintain the profitability, that will happen. But as I said, I think the short term experience should not be the only criteria for deciding the premium rates. So I would put these 2 3 months separately. And yes, we are monitoring our claims ratio. We are particular about the claim settlement percentage, but we would not like to do anything in a hurry. Anyway, the rates were to go up, which is what we have seen across the industry.
Mr. Mathur, before letting you go, I have a question on do you have any plans for listing, because LIC, which is the biggest insurance company in India, has already started working towards its big IPO.
Right. So in our company, actually, our solvency is very healthy. Our solvency is upwards of 325%. So we don't have any need for capital, fresh capital. So normally you go for IPO either when you have a need for capital, when you want to get in fresh capital, or probably if it's a dilution by shareholders. So as I mentioned, we don't have need for fresh capital. So then this decision is linked to the shareholders. They have to decide if they want to dilute their stake. So as of now, we don't have any immediate plans. But yeah, in years to come, depending upon the situation and depending upon the capital requirement in the company, we may decide. But as of now, there are no immediate IPO plans.
Thank you, Mr. Mathur, for taking time out today on National Insurance Awareness Day. As you said, life insurance is going to play a critical role in protecting your family at the time of need. If you have not buy one, it is the right time to go for it. For more such content, I request you to subscribe and ring the bell icon on our YouTube channel for more such interesting videos on personal finance. Follow us on LinkedIn, Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram. Thank you once again for joining us today.